Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Slimy Show. I'm Slimy. Over here, we do a raw and unapologetic takedown of Trinidad's corruption and betrayals. If you're not subscribed yet, we encourage you to subscribe to the channel. If you're sick of the paid puppets and ready for real talk, hit the like button. If you're sick of the propaganda the mainstream media wants to force down your throat, then hit the like button. If you're tired of co-opted voices bought and paid for by the predator class, hit the like button. We are on a mission to be #1 in independent journalism in the Caribbean. Hey guys, welcome back to the Slimy Show. First of all, I would like to apologize for being late in reporting this story. This story is actually about the Caricom meeting that happened 2 weeks ago. I was supposed to put out this video back then, but I started it and then I got distracted with other stuff that was happening because the stories were just coming back to back. And actually, now that I think about it, now that I go back to this story, I kind of see that now it's a blessing that this happened. Isn't it funny that I'm an atheist and recently there's been a lot of divine instances happening in my life where I don't know, it seems like I'm being pushed in a certain direction. But anyway, back to this story. It's basically about the Caricom meeting and the bullshit argument that Kamla was giving to the Caricom crowd, that she had to side with the United States in order to fight crime, yada yada yada. And right after she did that meeting, and she said that she went basically boasting at Caricom that the crime rate was reduced by 40-something%. She came and she reinstated a state of emergency.
Best. And so I come to the elephant that might be in the room. I come to the USA and the cooperation that we had with the USA. Thanks to President Trump, thanks to Secretary Rubio and the US military. I say thank you today for standing firm against narco-trafficking, human and arms smuggling originated from Venezuela. That is what we were facing in Trinidad and Tobago. Maybe some of you other islands in the Caribbean, your nations do not have that level of illegal migration and, of course, the crime. So in 2024, crime was being treated as a public health gimmick. It was dubbed a public health issue. It's not a public health issue. Because of the crime, you're not alive to get any public health.
Yo, what
you're
the
dead.
ass is this?
That's what the crime is like. So don't talk to me about a zone of peace when I will tell you, Trinidad and Tobago, 1.4 million people. We recorded 623 murders in 1 year, in 2024. And 40% of those murders, they were gang-related, driven by narcotics, by firearms from smuggling from Venezuela, and gangs coming out of Venezuela and mingling and mixing with gangs in Trinidad. In 2025, change of government, change of policy to treat with the drug cartels and the gangs as violent terrorist organizations.
I am embarrassed to be a Trini right now.
Military action by the American military in the Caribbean caused, you know what happened in our country? Caused our murder rate to decrease by 42%. You know what that meant? There were 257 less murders in TNT. I can say thanks again to President Trump, and thanks again to Secretary Marco Rubio. I thank them and the US military for the cooperation and what they shared with us for national security matters. Maybe in your islands you don't have the kind of crime we have.
This shit is so much worse than I thought it would be. This is so much worse.
In Trinidad, we were not as fortunate as you in the parliament.
She sounds like an old, bitter old woman.
So some of us,
just going up there
the crime
complaining.
is so bad. I cannot depend on just my military, my protective services, and certainly from you in the Caricom, many of you do not have military or large police services to help us down there. So again, I repeat, in Trinidad there's a saying, who vex loss? But we gained from the help, I'm saying that military help, and I will welcome them again. So,
now I want you guys to listen to this speech by Terrance Drew, where it seems like he directly addressed Kamla Persad Bissessar and that nonsense she spoke in her speech. And he spoke about a public health issue and what he did in his country to reduce the murder rate by 80%. 80%. And he did this all without military intervention by the United States of America.
And at the same time, regional security demands vigilance and innovation. Transnational criminal networks exploit our geography and vulnerabilities. Illicit firearms, narcotics trafficking, cybercrime, and money laundering undermine public safety and economic confidence. Our response must therefore be intelligence-driven and regionally coordinated. Again, we need that togetherness to tackle the issue of transnational crime. Here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and as we have said and we have recognized, that we are independent sovereign states and we take decisions at times that would benefit our nation. And there might be differing views on how we approach certain situations because of our unique positions. So in St. Kitts and Nevis, we have approached crime and violence through a public health lens. We established a citizen security secretariat integrating enforcement with social services and community engagement. We are now transforming it into the National Secretariat for Human Security and Well-being. It cannot just be citizens who we take care of alone, but anybody who comes to our shores, we have to determine that their security is also our priority. Hence, human security and well-being. This reflects the understanding that security encompasses dignity of all of our citizens, opportunity for all of our citizens and people, and stability for all of our people. And as a consequence of this coordinated approach, where we brought all together, including the opposition, for once again, I stepped out and said that the issue of national security and crime and violence cannot be a political football or just a political matter. It is a national matter. And if it is a national matter, then it takes a national approach. And so our position was to bring all together, government, opposition, and the community. And as a result of that coordinated approach, with, of course, national security being fundamental as well, over the past year and a half, we have recorded in St. Kitts and Nevis an over 80% reduction in homicides, reaching the lowest levels in decades. And this approach has worked extremely well for St. Kitts and Nevis. Sometimes one cap does not fit all, but this is the cap that St. Kitts and Nevis carries. Lives that have been lost are now being saved. Trauma that could have been caused has been released.
Listen to this. Listen to him embarrass Kamla.
And so while the work is not complete, these results demonstrate that when institutions and communities act together, meaningful progress is achievable. When institutions and communities act together, meaningful progress is achievable.
So, a week after this speech was delivered, your Prime Minister went to the United States and signed a military alliance with the United States of America, along with some other countries, with the stated objective they are looking to stop transnational drug trafficking. So now they are back to this narrative on they're stopping drug crime. Incidentally, in that meeting was the leader of El Salvador. And I would like you guys to look up the leader of El Salvador, Mr. Noboa, and report this back to me. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it. If you enjoyed it, hit the like and subscribe. Share this with your friends. The next topic I'm going to discuss is this recent military arrangement that the United States and Trinidad and a few other countries agreed to.